All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, October 30th. Tomorrow's Halloween. I'm dressing up as Nancy Pelosi. I'm going to do really terrible makeup and just put my dentures in and have them falling all over the place. That's the way it's going to go. So, lots to do tonight. Got great feedback about Rudy Giuliani last night. Michael J. Knowles last night. Great show. Paul's here with the news. Rick Delgado's going to have a What Even Is That tonight. Rick Emirati's going to have sports. But what better way to kick off the show than with two of my favorite people, the authors of Uprising, Who the Hell Said You Can't Ditch and Switch, The Awakening of course. That's great. Diamond and Silk. Please welcome Diamond and Silk to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Hi, ladies. How are you? Welcome back to the show. It's great to have you. You've made it to the big time when you get parodied on SNL. So what'd you girls think of that?
Cute. Oh, my God. Really, I thought it was very funny. It was done in good taste, not poor taste. Yeah. So I really appreciate that. That is the greatest form of flattery when somebody mocks you or when somebody imitates you. So I thought it was great.
Often imitated, but never duplicated.
That's right.
That's absolutely right.
That's right.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. So, lots to talk about. 4 days away here. Let me ask you about some of the endorsements that the president has picked up in the last couple of days. You see a lot of people from the music industry. You see 50 Cent, Lil Wayne. Then from sports, you're seeing people like Brett Favre, Jack Nicklaus, Bobby Orr. You're seeing this Democratic congressman from Flint, Michigan, who said, I've been a Democrat all my life, but this is more important than party. This is all about the country. What do you make of what you're seeing as some of the endorsements that are starting to happen in the last stretch here?
Listen, I love it. Let me tell you something, men, black men, all men, women. Listen, we don't want you raising our taxes. Don't tell me I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps. And when I pull myself up by my bootstraps and obtain the American dream, then you want to demonize me, vilify me, overtax me, and take it away from me. It doesn't make sense. And so when they look at President Donald J. Trump and his policies is about prosperity, keeping more money in your pocket, living the American dream. So I'm going to pick the guy that wants me to live the American dream instead of the guy hiding in the basement behind a mask wanting me to live the American nightmare.
And it is great to see, especially a lot of our Black brothers and sisters having a great awakening to the hoopla that they've been basically asleep in for years and almost, it feels like a century. When you're voting for the same Democrat Party that say and promise you all of these different things, but absolutely give you nothing in return, it's good to see that people are beginning to think outside of the black box.
Yeah. And, you guys have been on the show almost more than anybody. And you told your story, I think, the first time you were on, how you guys always kind of you just thought you had to vote Democrat because that's just what you did. But you're seeing more and more of it. Speaking of what you just brought up, people in the music industry, Ice Cube came out, rapper, very famous rapper, obviously. And he said, I had put out some concerns that I had to both campaigns. The Trump campaign came back and said, we'll talk to you right now, while the Biden campaign said, hey, we'll see you basically after the election, which basically meant to me, and I'd like to know what you guys think, if we win, we don't need you, so we won't talk to you. If we lose, well, we're out of here anyway, so we won't talk to you. What did you guys think of that?
Well, you have to understand the Democrats are all talk and no action. They don't take action and they go missing in action. And that just proved the point. They don't have any solutions. We do a little show. We have a show on Newsmax, but we also do a show called Chit Chat Snackable. And we were able to talk to one of Biden's surrogates. And we wanted to know what was his plan for Black America. Jim Crow Joe Biden has no plan for Black America. The only thing they keep bringing up is COVID. But here's the deal. You bring up COVID, but it's your same Democrat governors that deny people therapeutic medicines that could have saved lives. Right. So it really doesn't make sense. You want us to go hide in the basement behind a mask, shut down our livelihood for a virus with a 99% recovery rate. They have no solutions. They're not going to do anything for America, especially Black America. And it's really so sad. So when you look at everything that's going on, our best bet, our only hope is to vote for President Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
Yeah, it does seem, I've been saying this to everybody who's on the show, it does seem that we all keep using the term, everything here is on, it's the most important election, everything's on the table. And It's kind of sad because obviously in our constitutional republic, everything should never be on the table for just one election. But it does seem the left has moved so hard left that this does seem like everything's on the table, doesn't it?
They've fallen off a cliff.
They're so radical.
Yeah.
Listen, it is crucial.
Yeah.
You know we told you this back in 2016, but when you look at what they're trying to push down our throats, let me tell you something. We ain't never been slaves in this country. I didn't come over here on no boat, and I didn't cross a border. We were born on this soil, and we was born free. I don't know nothing about socialism. I don't know nothing about communism. I don't know anything about that, and I don't want to experience that. And I always tell people, when people from Venezuela and Cuba, when they come to this country, they come to this country because they have a place to run to. If we as patriotic Americans allow the left to create anarchy, civil unrest, want to defund our police, where are we going to run? We're the greatest country on earth. We have no place to run. That's why we have to stand up to this. That's why this here election is important. You don't want nobody taking away your civil liberties, your constitutional rights. You don't want them encroaching upon your freedoms. So that's why you have to get out and vote, and you have to vote for President Donald J. Trump.
Especially when you have somebody like an imbecile like Jim Crow Joe Biden, and he's walking around here talking about dark days ahead. That means he's going to raise your taxes, you all. He's going to shut this country down. He wants to implement mass mandate. And if he implement mass mandate, he'll implement vaccines mandates. Everybody better wake up and smell the coffee. They better make sure they get out and they vote red all the way down the ticket. Vote red, R-E-D. Remove every Democrat.
That's right. Remove them all. Get them out. Speaking of that, getting them out, you have these Hollywood phonies that keep telling us, well, if Trump gets reelected, I'm moving out of the country. You've got the Rosie O'Donnells and the guy from Motley Crue, I think, said it. And, but none of them will actually do it. But what amazes me about this is people like that, and we've seen some videos of voters who are like, well, anybody but Trump. And that's their excuse for voting for Biden. Not because they can name anything that they like about Joe Biden, but it's just anyone with Trump. And it amazes me, these Hollywood types and people like that are so cavalier, like what you ladies are bringing up. Do you want to pay higher taxes? Do you want them to ruin healthcare? Do you want them to ruin the energy sector? Do you want your energy bills to go through the roof? I don't know how anybody can be so cavalier about their vote this time around.
And you know what? Those Hollywood leaders, they can put their sack on their back and hit the road, Jack, and they don't have to come back no more.
That's right. Absolutely. I agree with you. I also understand that these people, this is what they're so radicalized.
Yes.
They have such hatred for the president. They will take it and blow the whole country up and think that that's okay. And it's not. You have to start looking at your own livelihood, your own life. You want freedoms? You better vote for Trump.
That's right.
Jim Crow Joe Biden is not going to give you that. He want to take away jobs, and we're in the midst of a pandemic. He wants to raise taxes and take away jobs. You don't want us to be energy dependent. You want us to depend on foreign oil? Think about that for a moment. That's because you want to continue to get your kickbacks and your patty whacks.
That's right.
You want to continue to steal from the top and leave the American people left at the bottom. So that's why you don't want us dependent on ourselves. You want us to be dependent on somebody else. It does not make sense. These people, that's why they're about 100 years old. Look like they should be somewhere. Well, let me not say that. But they're about 100 years old, still holding on to power and don't want to relinquish on. Listen. Greed. The gravy train has come to an end.
That's right.
The buck stop here. It's about the American people, and it's about putting America first.
And just imagine, you all imagine Jim Crow Joe in that White House. Imagine him looking at all of those buttons. He'll think one of them is a life call button.
I fall and I can't get up.
That's right. That's right. And God forbid, we don't need to give him the nuclear code. No. He'll think he's playing with a crossword puzzle.
He's playing with that.
We don't need that in the White House.
And if he ever become president, we're afraid he gonna forget that he's the president. Look at how he's talking. He think he's running against George Washington. He think he's running for a Senate position. He's confused.
Yes.
We don't want nobody like that in the White House.
All he's got to do is here, Joe, sign this. What is it? Don't worry about it. Okay, sign it. That's what it's going to be. So you brought up something that I want to address, because here you have Joe Biden, and when you look at this ticket, when the American people, and especially the African-American community, looks at this ticket, you have Joe Biden tied to segregationists early in his career. We know all the comments he's made about you ain't black and all of this. He sponsored the 94 crime bill. Now you have Kamala Harris running with him. Obviously, as a prosecutor, she prosecuted more African-Americans for crimes like marijuana with extensive sentences. How does the African American community look at this ticket and look at her when more than half of the American public do not think Joe Biden could make it through a first term? A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for her to be the first woman president, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. The sad thing is her allowing herself to be exploited by Jim Crow Joe Biden. That's the sad thing. Listen, absolutely should be running everything. So Americans is going to have to make the choice. I don't think Black America is jumping up hip, hip, hooray for Kamala and a Joe Biden ticket, or whichever way you want to put it. They are not. Let me tell you something. We already know what time it is when it comes to Kamala Harris, when it comes to Jim Crow Joe. And that's why we say no to both of them.
And then keep in mind that Jim Crow Joe wrote the crime bill and Kamala invoked the crime bill.
That's right.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, you look on the other side, Republicans have some very exciting young conservatives running. You see Joe Collins, Kim Klacik in Baltimore, John James up in Michigan. Are you following any of those races? And do you think Kim Klacik, someone like that, can win in Baltimore?
I absolutely do. Don't forget about Angela Stanton in Georgia. She's a Black woman that's running. I absolutely do think that they can win. If they knocked on the north doors, listen, people are tired of the same old things in their communities. They want somebody that's going to come in and that's going to produce results. So when we look at Kim, when we look at Angela Stanton, when we look at John James and Collins, I think that they have a chance to make a difference. Because here's my thing. Why do these Democrats keep getting put back in and they're not even rallying nobody? They're not knocking on any doors. They're not really campaigning and holding any events. So why are they getting voted back in? So it lets me know that something could be tricky or something could be fishy wrong with the whole system. But I believe that if these people knocked on enough doors and really got the attention of the constituents that's right there in their communities, I believe they could win their elections.
That's right.
All right. Well, I got about a minute left, ladies. Last question. We're 4 days out. You guys have been on the bus tours lately. You're out there. You're on the ground in North Carolina. What do you see? Where do you think we are? And is there anything, obviously the voter fraud's got to concern you. What concerns you going into this last stretch?
Well, let me tell you what we see. We do see enthusiasm. It is undeniable that President Trump has his finger on the pulse of this nation, on this country. And these people are so enthusiastic. They are inspired. They love this president. And anybody that will stand in the hot sun or the cold for you as a person that's going to go to the poll and vote. We could be concerned about the mail-in ballots. This is a way for them to cheat. See, that's let me know. If Jim Crow Joe was really up in the polls, why do you all have to bring in these massive mail-out ballots and put in ways where people can really commit fraud? So that doesn't make any sense. But let me tell you, I'm telling people, don't focus on the poll, focus on the goal. We're going to win. And if you are on the fence, it's time for you to jump off the fence, walk through the gate, jump on the Trump train, and vote for President Donald J. Trump. We want you to vote right so you won't get left.
That's right.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's a turnout election, and we're going to do everything we can to get everybody to vote and bring 5 people with them. Diamond and Silk, we always appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Diamond and Silk, live from Studio 6B. We got lots to do.
They are amazing.
We'll do it when we get back, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in on a Friday night. We're going to have some fun tonight.
They are so lovable.